The Words of This Life with Apostle Grace Lubega.
In the book of Acts, when the Spirit of the Lord comes on the church and they're speaking in tongues, Peter stands before 3,000 men and speaks. And when they heard this, they were stung and hurt to the heart. And they say to Peter and the rest of the apostles, "What shall we do?" That is power. Some change 3,000 men in one day. And then he says something. In 2 Timothy chapter 2, he says, "I might be in bonds now and suffer trouble, but the word of God," he says, "is not bound, because it is sharper than any bondage." And then he says in Peter, "Being born again, not of corruptible seed, but of the incorruptible seed, which is the word of God, which liveth and abideth forever." He says, you are born of that thing that cannot be bound. And then he tells the believer that you can get the sharpest there is of the edged swords and you can divide it. He goes down and says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word." This is so sharp that it cuts through anything. And he said, but that one, you can still divide it. Do you know what it means to divide a divider? The ability to judge, judgment. And he says, that's what I've given you. If you learn to cut through the thing that cuts through everything, he says, you'll never be ashamed. When you start a business, you can't be ashamed. When you start a ministry, you can't be ashamed. When you enter marriage, you can't be ashamed. When you produce children, you can't be ashamed. When you go to a job, you can't be ashamed. When you declare something, you can't be ashamed.
Join our online family. Spread the love and follow us on our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And subscribe to our YouTube channel. Finero, make manifest.